he would have spoken with very few changes for the life he was living in February of 19 blank. He was 54, lean, handsome, and healthy insofar as he knew. By that I meant his health was so good that he was not aware he had it. His wife, Marie, was a good wife, and a good manager who knew her province and stayed in it. She was buxom and pleasant, and under other circumstances might have taken her place at the bar of a very good small restaurant. Like most French women of her class, she hated waste and heretics, considering the latter a waste of good heavenly material. She admired her husband without trying to understand him, and had a degree of friendship with him which is not found in those marriages where passionate love sets torch to peace of mind. Her duty, as she saw it, was to keep a good, clean, economical house for her husband and her daughter, to do what she could about her liver, and to maintain the spiritual payments on her escrowed property in heaven. These activities took up all her time. Her emotional overflow was absorbed by an occasional fight with the cook, Rose, and her steady warfare with the wine merchant and grocer, who were cheats and pigs, and at certain times of the year, ancient camels. Madame's closest friend, and perhaps only confidant, was Sister Hyacinth, of whom there will be more later. Monsieur Héristal was French of the French, and yet French plus. For instance, he did not believe it was a sin not to speak French, and an affectation for a Frenchman to learn other languages. He knew German, Italian, and English. He had a scholarly interest in progressive jazz, and he loved the cartoons in Punch. He admired the English for their intensity, and their passion for roses, horses, and some kinds of conduct. An Englishman is a bomb, he would say, but a bomb with a hidden fuse. He also observed, almost any generality one makes about the English turns out at some time to be untrue. And he would continue, how different from the Americans they are. He knew and liked Cole Porter, Ludwig Bemelmans, and until a few years before had known 60% of the harmonica rascals. He had once shaken hands with Louis Armstrong and addressed him as Cher Maître Satchmo, to which the master replied, "You frogs ape me." The Héristal household was comfortable without being extravagant, and carefully keyed to the family income, which was sufficient for the pleasant but frugal life which, as good French, Pippin and Madame preferred to live. Monsieur's main extravagance lay in the instruments of astronomy. His telescope of more than amateur power was equipped with mounting of sufficient weight and stability to overcome oscillation, and mechanism to compensate for the Earth's turning. Some of Pippin's celestial photographs have appeared in the magazine Match, and properly so, for he is given credit for discovering the comet of 1951, designated the Élysée comet. A Japanese amateur in California, Walter Hashi, made a simultaneous report and shared credit for the discovery. Hashi and Héristal still corresponded regularly, and compared photographs and techniques. Under ordinary circumstances, Pippin read 4 daily papers like any good and alert citizen. He was not political, except in so far as he distrusted all governments, particularly the one in power. But this, too, might be said to be more French than individual. The family Héristal was blessed with only one child, Clotilde, 20 years old, intense, violent, pretty, and overweight. Her background was interesting. At an early age, she had revolted against everything she could think of. At 14, Clotilde determined to be a doctor of medicine. At 15, she wrote a novel entitled Adieu ma vie, which sold widely and was made into a motion picture. As a result of her literacy and cinematographic success, she toured America and returned to France wearing blue jeans, saddle Oxfords, and a man's shirt, a style which instantly caught on with millions of gamines who for several years were known as les gens bleus, and caused untold pain to their parents. It was said that les gens bleus were, if anything, sloppier and more frowsy than the existentialists.